I am looking actually, Rita, and it says 2 sets, but it doesn't make sense because there's only one. I don't think that's correct. You know, it does say in here 2 sets, but it doesn't have water holes, you know, but I think I'm going to ask, check the International Office because I think that's correct. I think it's only one. Because there's no set, you know, we don't do self-print ourselves, you know. And for sure October just says 1, you know, so, yeah, I mean, it's a good credit, but I don't understand why I'm doing 2, you know, so I think unless you do it, unless it's, I was just asking a question. So it also says a torma, but actually we don't offer a torma during this either. I think what they've done is they've taken it from just the Vajrasattva practice booklet. Because you do have a torma when you do a retreat, but we don't offer a torma during this either. So I'm going to actually confirm with International because I think that's a mistake. So anyway, we're going to do the normal way. And if not, you know, it's fine. There's actually this is so sorry, good afternoon. Back again. There's actually a very nice, I'm glad this is in here, a nice description of what SOG means in here. So it is in English, but it's a nice meaning of what we mean by when we offer SOG. It's a very short commentary by Lama Zopa Rinpoche on the meaning of SOG. What does it mean to offer SOG? So,
šeit ir pēdējā lapspusē ļoti īsts Lama Zopas Rinpoche komentārs par to, kas ir SOGs, ko tas nozīmē, kad mēs piedāvājam SOG, un tas ir ļoti angļu valodā, bet tas ir tāds ļoti paskaidrojums.
So generally, SOG is something, is a commitment that those who have High Yoga Tantra initiation, particular Mother Tantra, they have a commitment or a samaya to do that twice a month after they receive that initiation.
Un tad SOGs parasti attiecas uz tiem, kas ir saņēmuši tādas augstākās jogas tantras iesvētības, parasti mātes tantras iesvētības, un tad ir tas, kad pieņem šīs iesvētības, ir apņemšanās veikt SOGu 2 reizes mēnesī.
So SOG actually means like a feast or a banquet.
SOGs patiesībā nozīmē kā dzīves vai bankets.
And what we're trying to do here, you see, is we're offering a feast of delicious foods and drinks to our spiritual teacher in those 2 days, the Tibetan 10th and the Tibetan 25th of the month.
Un tas, ko mēs šeit piedāvājam tāds izmeklētas ēdienas un dzēriens skolotājiem, un to parasti dara mēnesis kalendārā.
And the minute...
10. un 25.
10th and 25th, yeah.
10. un 25.
And so, however, even if you don't have that commitment, it's still good to do.
Arī tad, ja jums nav šis solījums pieņemts, ka jums jāveic coks, ir labi to veikt.
Because, we know generally in this tradition, we have to practice both method and wisdom and develop our mind in the practices in method or compassion and bodhicitta and wisdom, the wisdom realizing emptiness.
Jo šajā ceļā mums ir jāattīsta gan metode, gan gudrība. Abas divas.
Too hard?
Nē. Just drop it. Kaut ko? Metode gudrība jāattīsta. At least something. You develop
method and wisdom. So in this path, we want to develop both method and wisdom, or bodhicitta, to make it more easy, and the wisdom realizing emptiness.
Jā, un tad, kad mēs sakām metodu un gudrību, tad mēs domājam, metode ir bodhicitta, līdzjūtība. Līdzjūtības attīstīšana un gudrība, kas ir izpratusi tukšumu.
So when we practice Tantra, in this particular case, this is High Yoga Tantra, it's a very skillful method for developing these two states of mind at the same time.
Un tad, kad mēs praktizējam tantru, un šī ir augstākā jogas tantra, tā palīdz attīstīt šīs te abas lietas vienlaikus.
So basically the practice is to help us experience this mind of transcendental bliss and emptiness. The practice is by making these offerings and purifying them in that nature, offering them to a guru and the dakas and dakinis, to try and have that experience of the nature of our mind being a transcendent state of bliss and emptiness.
Un tā jāga ir tajā, ka mēs veicot piedāvājums un attīrot tos un piedāvājot, mēs vēlamies pieredzēt transcendentālo svētlaimi un tukšumu.
So as Rinpoche is saying here, the main purpose of SOG is to get these attainments, to restore. So when we do High Yoga Tantra, we take these initiations, we have tantric vows and commitments, and more samayas or bonds with our teacher, so we want to purify anything we've broken and restore it, and also to remove, pacify any obstacles.
Tad, veicot sogu, mēs arī vēlamies attīrīt visus tos solījumus, apņemšanās, ko mēs esam pārkāpuši, jo tad, kad mēs esam pieņēmuši šīs iesvētības, mēs esam uzņēmušies arī citus solījumus, kurus mēs esam pārkāpuši, un tad tos mēs attīram, un tad
and to pacify obstacles.
Un kā arī mērķis ir nomierināt šķēršļus, tos traucēkļus, kas mums traucē praksē.
So when we have, for those of us again who have High Yoga Tantra from the Mother Tantras, so it's very important to do SOG twice a month.
Un tiem no jums, kam ir augstākās jogas tantras iesvētības, īpaši mācas tantras iesvētības, ir ļoti svarīgi veikt SOG 2 reizes mēnesī.
And I think those of us who don't, well, we definitely purify and we collect merit, and we bring our mind gradually closer to the mind of the Guru anyway, So that's the purpose of all the practices.
Un tiem, kam nav iesvētība, vienalga, mēs attīram daudz ko, un mūsu prāts ir tuvāk guru prātam. Tas palīdz mums ceļā, prakses ceļā.
and hopefully we get a little bit blissed out.
Un cerams, mēs sajūtam kaut nedaudz šis svētlaimes.
So so really what this is a banquet or a feast of bliss and emptiness.
Tad tas tiek sauc par svētlaimes un tukšumu dzīrēm.
So generally what we try to do is that when we're doing this practice, it is a very profound practice. I mean, I can't even, I wouldn't be able to even explain how profound it is, not having those kind of experiences, but it is, the practice itself is a very, very profound practice that can have many, many layers of experience depending on the merit, your level of mind.
Un tad šī praksa ir ļoti dziļa. Tā ir tik dziļa, ka es nevarēšu ar savām zināšanām to paskaidrot. Bet skaidrs ir tas, ka tie pieredzes līmeņi veicot šo praksu var būt ļoti dažādi, atkarībā no prāta tīrības un realizācijām.
And there are some sacred substances that we do offer. So everything, basically when we're in these practices, we try to feel that we're in a, we generate the experience, trying to generate some experience, imagination that we're in a sacred place, that each one of us are sacred, divine beings, and that we're offering this to our spiritual teacher, and then we're all enjoying the song together and having this experience of bliss and emptiness.
Tas, ko mēs domājam, ka mēs esam kādā īpašā slepenā vietā, un katrs no mums ir kā dievišķs slepens, dievišķs, un tad mēs piedalāmies dzīrēs kopā ar savu skolotāju un pieredzam svētlaimi tukšumu.
So in a sense, that's kind of what the meaning of song really is, so to try and not shout a lot at song ceremonies or do sort of rude behaviour or argue with people. It's not a good, we shouldn't do it anyway at the centre, but especially when we're doing the ceremonies to try and keep your mind as seeing everybody in a good way, in a pure way, looking at the positive qualities, trying to see everybody as what we say dakas and dakinis who are experiencing bliss and emptiness, not like in a silly way, but just to have sort of seeing people in a more sacred way, at that time.
Tad tas būtiski ir skatīties uz citiem, tādā citā veidā, skatīties, kā tie apkārtējie būtu dakas un dakīni, un nevis tādā muļķīgā veidā, bet patiešām cenšoties mainīt savu prātu stāvokli un iegūt tādu tīru redzējumu. Ar gala rezultātā arī būs šī svētlaime un tukšums apzināšana.
Strīdēties savā starpā, ko jūs gadījumā nav labi darīt.
So we, as I said, put lots of offerings. So we also offer at this time what we call Bala Mandana. The ordinary name is meat and alcohol, but Rinpoche emphasises to refer them as Bala Mandana because it's a more sacred, to see them again in a more sacred way. So for beings who have already are quite elevated on the spiritual path, have some tantric realizations, so they can, when they partake of these substances, it only develops the realizations of loving, of compassion, of emptiness, of bliss. So for myself, for sure it doesn't, but I still have to just taste a little bit and try and imagine, have some imagination that that's happening. But you can read many life stories of great beings who they just drink alcohol and it only makes their mind more pure. They only have more experience of emptiness. We might feel like that initially, but the next morning is something else, So we just, even amongst us, take a tiny little piece and a lot of imagination, and that's it, So this is so this is why we have them here, but it's only for people who have high Shobha Tantra initiation to give to those people, as I mentioned to you today. And so it's just for, to practice, somehow a little bit practice in one's mind, to try and cultivate that experience.
Un tad mazajos trauciņos ir Bala un Mandana, tas ir nedaudz gubumie sagrieta gaļa un alkohols. Un Lama Zopa Rinpoche ir īpaši pieteicis, ka jāsauc tas tajos vārdos Bala un Mandana, jo tas piešķir vēl tādu, skatīties nevis kā uz ordinārām, parastām substancēm, bet kā uz transformētām substancēm. Un tad vēl bija stāsts arī par, ir stāsts par praktizētājiem, kuri ir varējuši dzert, izdzert liels daudzums alkoholu, bet viņi parāds no tā kļūst tikai tīrāks, bet tas droši vien neatiec uz mums. Mēs parasti lietojam pavisam nedaudz, tikai apmērs ar pirkstu, un tad pārējais ir tā iztēle, kad uzņemot to baluma dani, kad ir šī milzīgā svētlaime.
To var tikai tie, kas ir iesvētīti.
Un jā, to var darīt tikai tie, kuriem ir tās augstākās tantras iesvētības.
So there's a couple of stories, if you're interested, funny stories about that.
Yeah.
So there's one from Lama Zopa Rinpoche's previous life. There's a book called The Laudo Lama. Has anyone seen or read? Yeah.
I know the book.
So from the one, Rinpoche in past life was not a monk. He had a family and he was still Lama, and he did the last 25 years of his retreat. Every year he did lots of retreat.
Tad ir dažādi jautri stāsti, un tad viens ir stāsts par Lama Zopa Rinpoche iepriekšējo internāciju. Viņš šajā iepriekšējā dzīvē viņš nebija mūks, bet viņš bija lama, viņam bija ģimene, bet viņš savas dzīves laikā veic ļoti daudz retrītus, 25 gadus.
And so 25 years of his life.
25 gadus pavadīja retrītu.
So in his family, I think his daughter and some of his family used to serve him. You know, he would be mainly meditating, and his family would, take care. His daughter, I think, mainly would take care.
Un tad, kamēr viņš meditēja, lielākoties viņa ģimene viņa rūpējās gan par meitu un nes viņa mēdienu.
So, and Rinpoche did manifest drinking chan. Chan is the alcohol that they had in Nepal, potato beer, because they only have potatoes, so they would make beer from potato. So Rinpoche would drink, lots of chan. But he was a lama, and he was quite high lama in retreat, and his daughter would bring him chan. But one time she thought, I think my he's drinking too much alcohol. So she was thinking, maybe he's getting drunk or he's drinking too much, so she stopped serving him so much alcohol.
Un tad ir stāsts par to, ka tas Lama Zopa Rinpoche, viņš tajā iepriekšējā dzīvē viņš daudz meditēja, un tad vienlaikus dzēra arī daudz čangu, kas ir alus izgatavots no kartupeļiem. Un tad meita padomāja, ka viņš droši vien piedzers, un viņam nevajag tik daudz to alus nest, un tad viņa pārstāja viņam nest alu.
So something like this, the story goes. I mean, Rinpoche, the Laudo Lama, sort of scolded her and said, "No, you need to give me more." But he had a problem with his legs, so he couldn't get up. So the daughter, they just said, "No, we need to, you need to cut down." So she wasn't giving him as much or something, and so the plants all around the garden started to die. Some tree or something they had, it was starting to die. So it was like some sign that, Rinpoche's mind was already, he was not drinking alcohol like we drink alcohol. So when you can drink at that level, you can affect the elements. You can have a positive effect on things. So basically, there were some signs happened, and the daughter understood that her father was drinking alcohol because it was increasing his spiritual realization. It wasn't just something to get drunk. There were some signs in the outside the plant. There was some special tree, and it started to the leaves started to fall down or something like that. And she understood it was a sign, that she was not doing the right thing. So she gave her father alcohol, and then things started to grow again. Something like that happened in the book. I need to read it exactly, but it was quite interesting. Yeah.
Un tad, kas notika tajā brīdī, kad viņa pārstāja viņam piegādāt šo alkoholu, tad dārzā augi sāka nīkt, un viens īpašs bija dažādas nelabvēlīgas zīmes, viens īpašs koks nokaut, un lapas sāka pirt, un tad viņi saprata, ka tas ir, kad Rinpoche ir sasniedzis jau tādu realizāciju, ka viņam, dzerot alkoholu, viņš tikai palielina savus garīgo spēku un potenciālu, un tad viņi atkal nesa viņu malu.
and there's another story. There was these monks and a lama, and they were invited to. So they were in Nepal, I think from Nepal. The monk was from Nepal. The lama and the monks were, from Nepal, and they were invited to a sponsor's house for dinner one night. So they had to cross some rocky place and walk across some water or stream or something to get to this place. And when they got there, they were offered lots of delicious food and also alcohol.
Tad ir stāsts par mūkiem un lamu no Nepāls, kas tika ieaicināti viesos, un tad viņiem bija jāiet ciemos pāri tādai upē. Un tad, kad viņi ieradās ciemos, tad bija ļoti daudz.
Briesmīgā vai kādā bīstamā vietā.
Bīstamām vietām, jā. Un tad, kad viņi ieradās galā, tad tur bija skaisti saklāts galds ar dažādiem ēdieniem un arī alkoholu.
So the lama, he took, they offered him, so he took the alcohol, and the monk says, okay, well, if our teacher's doing it, we'll just follow on. So they took the alcohol and they're all partying, So then they were, okay, right, so they walked back home at night time, and they had to walk across this really filthy sort of watery area place, And often in Nepal they carry their own cups, so somehow the lama had his bowl there with him or something, so he scooped up the filthy muddy water and drunk it, And so he said, and he turned and says, when you can do that, then you can have alcohol.
Tad bija tā, kad lama arī dzērtu alkoholu un mūki skatījās un pat nodomāja pie sevis, ka ja mūsu skolotājs dzer, tad arī mēs to varam darīt. Bet vēlāk, kad viņi gāja uz mājām, tad viņi gāja pār tādam netīram ūdenim. Skolotājs iesmēla traukā to netīro druķaino ūdeni un dzēra un teica, tad, ja jūs tā varēsiet izdarīt, tad arī jūs varēsiet dzert arī alkoholu.
So anyway, that's a sort of description of it. some level of when you're maybe ready, the level of practice one has to be really to transform, I think, these kinds of nectars. But either way, we offer for that purpose, So I think that's a general introduction to SOG. Is there any questions with that?
Why meat?
Because basically these substances, when we take them, they have a special way they have some quality to increase our experience of bliss and emptiness with our particular nervous system, our chakras, our winds, our drops. The nervous system, the subtle body in Tantra is quite complex. But somehow when you take these substances, and when you have a very subdued mind, and certain qualities in your chakras and nervous systems, that it can only enhance and increase both your experience of bliss or bodhicitta and your experience of emptiness. This is what Buddha saw and this is what Buddha taught, so that's why with these substances.
Is there some symbolism, that for example this meat is like for emptiness and
yes,
alcohol for bodhicitta?
Yes, the meat, the alcohol is actually for the experience of clear light. So it's also, the alcohol's experience, related to the experience of developing clear light, the experience of clear light, and the meat is the experience of bliss, the blissful quality of the mind. So they're related, specific things with different tantras and different, depends on one's nervous system, but basically they are actually, the alcohol is clear light and the meat is the method or blissful side related to those two parts. So which one might be more helpful for you? And sometimes these substances can help people when they've got wind disorders, when they're sick. You've got too much wind. Sometimes these substances can actually help to pacify the wind, so they can be medicine at certain times for us. And for high-level beings, they're really, really powerful medicine to really, complete the path. But for us, it's like not so. Generally speaking, it's not. They're like poison mainly for us. But they can be medicine if you have some wind disease or wind disorder or something. They can help also at that time. If you've got a lot of tightness in the chest or whatever, sometimes a little bit of meat and alcohol can actually help to pacify and to release.
In such a quantities or bigger?
You might need a little bit more if you've got some, you know, tight wound or something like that. Yeah. So sometimes the lamas are suggesting that when you've got some bad wound or some wound disorder, you can take a little bit and it actually does help. But you kind of have to get guidance on that and be very careful so you're not like generating too much attachment. Garlic and onion are the same. In the lower tantra, so it's something to be careful of because there's different classes of tantra. So lower tantras, we can't take any of these, or garlic or onion. The practices are set up in a way to keep your system clean of these, and then you receive a more powerful blessing. The higher tantras, they become like medicine for the mind. Medicine to increase the experiences of listening, just like garlic and onion. Also can kind of enhance desire, you know. So when you can control desire energy, then you can use these things to meditate on emptiness and experience bliss. But when we can't control, then it doesn't, you know, it can't help you. So like the good thing is there's nothing in concretely bad, nothing concretely good. It's really up to the independent person and what your constitution is, what your capacity is, where you're at. So we can never judge who's doing what, really, in a way. I mean, we can make some discrimination, but it's you know, it can be difficult to say, you know. So.
Ines, now you translate.
Sorry, I know that's quite a lot, isn't it?
Bija jautājums par to, kāda ir tā simbolika atsevišķa alkohola gaļai, un tad alkohols var vairāk dot to skaidrs gaismas realizāciju, un gaļa bija svētlaime. Un tad arī, nu, tas tālākais tas apraksts par to, ka ir ļoti dažādi tās tantras un dažādas individu iespējas, un ir teiksim, tad, kad ir jau, var būt tā, ka alkohols, tas cauga alkohols, viņš var būt arī noderīgs, ja ir kāds nopietnas lungas vai enerģija disbalans, tad var viņus izmantot gan to gaļu, gan alkoholu kā medicīnu, bet tur dažādi arī atšķirās šiem tantras līmeņiem, ka zemākajā tantrā nedrīkst neko no tā lietot, ne ķiploks, ne sīpols, ne gaļu, ne alkoholu, lai arī uzturētu to ķermeni pēc iespējas tīru, bet savukārt augstākajā un īpaši tādiem realizētajiem praktizētājiem, viņi jau var to izmantot kā prāta medicīnu, kā tādas zāles prātam, lai, teiksim, kaut kādas lietas aktivizētu vai ārstētu.
Guni to prasīt, kāpēc gaļa? Un kāpēc tieši gaļa?
Tāpēc, tad arī bija, ka tās jātiek uzskatīts, ka tās substances, katra no tām substancēm dod kādu īpašu labumu, gan čakrām, gan smalkajiem kanāliem. Tas mums ar šis kādai aktīvs kaut kāds lietas. Pats, ka tieši tās substances. Nu, jā. Tas ir tas.
So I think it's you know, like all these practices, it's a very precious practice, and you know, whatever, definitely, you know, we have some, I think it's because they're very sacred. This actually was written by our founder Lama Yeshe, this particular song for Westerners, so we could perform it in a simple way, something easy and simple for us, and also to, when we take Hatha Yoga Tantra initiation, we can try to keep purifying, so we don't go to, we don't have a bad rebirth because we didn't keep our commitment, so this helps to keep things pure. If we do twice a month, to keep purifying anything to be broke after we take the vows, because they're not easy, the vows we take, but they're still very good to try and take and keep.
Un tad šī cauka versija, tās autors ir Lama Yeshe, kas ir mūsu organizācijas dibinātājs, un tā ir tāda vienkāršā versija, kas tika sarakstīta priekš rietumniekiem, lai mums būtu vienkārši to izpildīt, un tad vēlreiz uzsverot to, ka ir ļoti būtiski veikt šo cauku praksi, jo tā palīdz attīrīt visus tos pārlāstos solījumus, kas ir kopš mēs esam pieņēmuši tos solījumus, tos visus, ko mēs esam lauzuši, lai mēs tā runāt arī.
So if we go to page number 11, and we'll just briefly go through the practice, it's not too complicated in terms of the length or too much of the content. Of course, meditating on emptiness is never easy, but generally going through it's not so hard. So we start off by invoking and visualising the field of merit, which is Guru Vajrasattva and all the deities of the mandala.
Mēs īsumā iziesim cauri praksē, lai saprastu to būtību, tad tas ir, ko mēs sākam. Mēs vizualizējam Vajrasattvu un meditācijas tīrības. Tikumu to nopelnu lauku mēs vizualizējam.
So we basically, like the Medicine Buddha, we try and visualise the Medicine Buddha's there and we make all these offerings. So similarly, we visualise we're in a beautiful place, like a blissful pure land, and basically Vajrasattva's mandala, and then appears Vajrasattva with all these gods and goddesses and deities and dakas, dakinis, all the sort of field of collecting merit, who's in essence our spiritual teacher. So of course, if we have had High Yoga Tantra initiation, we would think, you know, there's our teacher in the form of Vajrasattva with all the deities, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas appearing like that. And if not, we just think Vajrasattva and whatever other teacher we have some faith in, we can try to bring about the awareness that they're, you know, the same, inseparable.
Tad tas līdzīgi, kā mēs medicīnas Buddhas praksi veicot, mēs vizualizējam šo dievību, un tad viņai veicam visus piedāvājumus, un arī šeit mēs iztēlojamies tīru vietu, kas patiesībā ir tā kā Vajrasattva's mandala, un tad ir pats Vajrasattva, un tad mēs veicam visus šos piedāvājumus.
And then on page 12, then we bless the offerings. So we're going to have which we didn't do, but maybe we'll do just before we start. We can have a 5-minute stand-up break and get an inner offering, just some little bit alcohol there. And we bless the inner offering, and we also bless all the substances in a very short blessing ceremony. Usually they're done separately, but this is quite simple. We just bless the inner offering and all the substances at the same time. So we're just going to bless and transform all these offerings into something pure and blissful and delightful, and like filling the earth and sky that, you know, we could offer to great, you know, holy beings like Vajrasattva.
Tad tālāk seko 12. lapas pusē piedāvājumu svētīšana, un tas, ko mēs darām no sākuma, mēs svētam šo iekšējo piedāvājumu, un pēc tam mēs svētam un attīram visus tos pārējos piedāvājumus, lai viņi būtu gatavi sagatavot Vajrasattvu.
And then page 13, we present the offerings. So we purified and transformed it into nectar, and then we present the offerings to Vajrasattva. So verse number 1, and there's 7 verses that go like this. Om, a miraculous rainbow cloud appearing in Dharmakaya space. So this is, we're talking about Vajrasattva, holy body of Vajrasattva, having purified hallucination and dual concept. So basically, you know, having realised emptiness, free of any wrong view.
Tad pēc tam tas sako ir tā patiesā piedāvāšana, kad tie piedāvājumi ir tikuši attīrīti un pārvērsti nektārā, un tad mēs viņus piedāvājam.
And especially seeing that our teacher and the deity are the same, you know, the same. There's not any difference in terms of their inner nature.
Un tas, ko būtu atcerēties, ka dievība nav šķirama no mūsu skolotājiem. Mēs piedāvājam, tad mēs arī domājam par dievību, par skolotāju.
And so the Dakini and Dharma protector. So these are different types of enlightened beings who help us with our spiritual development. When we have the field of refuge or the merit field, they also have Dakinis and Dharma protectors, and they all have different jobs to sort of help us develop spiritual realizations, but we try and see them all like a spiritual teacher.
Un tad šeit pieminētas arī Dakīnijas un Dārmas aizstāvi, un tās ir dažādu veidu apgaismotas būtnes, kuras palīdz mūsu ceļā dažādos veidos, lai mūsu prakses būtu veiksmīgāks. Un tad arī viņas parasti arī zīmē, tad ir tas nopelnu lauks, tad ir visas šīs dievības, bet tad viņas arī ir tā kā vienotas ar skolotāju, ar guru.
And then we say, to please you, you know, our guru, our spiritual teacher, Vajrasattva, please accept all these. And and then we ask, so we're giving something, and then we ask, please generate within me this, the experience of bliss, or bodhicitta. And again, all this is coming from the basis of having a good heart. So without a good heart, loving kindness and morality, we can't get bliss in it, all these things. So we have to, have that groundwork, obviously, morality and good heart. But we're saying, please accept this, and then help me to experience, the blissful, pure nature of my mind.
Un tas, ko mēs lūdzam šeit, vēršoties pie guru garīgā skolotāja Vajrasattva's, sniegt mums tukšums, svētlaimi, un, protams, pamatā ir tā morāla. What is the basis of you asked for bliss of happiness?
Was having morality and a good heart.
Bet tomēr pamatā ir šis tā ikdienas likumīgās darbības, labas sirds un lai varētu, kā nosacījums, lai varētu saņemt šo savu.
And then we recite the Vajrasattva mantra and just try and visualize it. We're having, we receive that from Vajrasattva, whatever we request.
Un tad pēc tam mēs skaitam Vajrasattva's mantru un domājam, ka mēs visu, ko mēs Vajrasattvam lūguši, mēs to arī saņemam.
So the nice thing about this practice is every verse, they say the same thing. There's like a praise to Vajrasattva at the start, oh miraculous rainbow cloud, appearing in Dharmakaya, holy body, you've purified this and that, so you have these qualities. And then we say, then we ask, saying that he's, he no longer has clinging to pleasure objects. So, and then please accept these, and then help me to not have, clinging to sense objects, and to make this life ordinary, prevent me from having, ordinary appearances in this life. So we kind of do this praise to Vajrasattva and say, you've got all these qualities, please accept all this, and grant me those qualities.
Jā, un tas, kas sakot tālāk, ir Vajrasattva's īpašību uzskaitījums, visas tās kvalitātes, kas viņam piemīt, un tas, ko mēs tā vēršamies pie viņa, un sakam, ka mēs piedāvājam, caur piedāvājumu.
Ka tev tādas kvalitātes ir, tā kā slavējam.
Slavējam, un pēc tam lūdzam, lai arī mums tiktu tādas pašas kvalitātes piešķirt.
And so the first, second verse, it's all related to Lam Rim, the three principles of the path, which is very nice. So we're practicing Tantra, but we're asking for realizations of Sutra and Tantra. Three principles of the path, plus, the experience of bliss and emptiness. So it's a very, skillful, short practice where everything's in there, Sutra and Tantra together. Third verse, we're asking for renunciation. Fourth one is bodhicitta. So it's combination of Sutra and Tantra again in there.
Un tad šī praksa ir ļoti, kā no vienas puses īsa, bet no otras ļoti ietilpīga, jo šeit ir kā sutras un tantras apvienojums, jo it kā mēs, no vienas puses mēs veicam šo tantrisko praksi, bet no otras puses tās lietas, ko mēs lūdzam, ir lamrama realizācijas, sutras realizācijas.
And so we go through like this to verse number 7, asking for different, saying, oh great, Guru Vajrasattva, you've got this and that, so please give me these kind of realizations according to Sutra and Tantra. And then we go to verse number 8, page number 18, and we offer the song. We actually say, okay, if you have a lama present, you stand up and you do like this.
Un tad mēs ejam līdz pat 7. pantam, mēs ejam tādā pašā secībā, ka mēs slavinam Vajrasattvu un lūdzam viņam dot savu svētību līdz pat aktuāliem cilvēku piedāvājumiem, kas ir 18. lapspusē, un tad, kad ir skolotājs lama, tad arī mēs daram tā, ka mēs pirms viņam piedāvājam šo cilvēku.
So really these two verses here again have quite a profound meaning, but we're just basically saying that we're offering it to all the guests, you know. But that's quite more sort of deeper tantric meaning. But basically we're just, you know, offering to all the guests and our teacher and imagining that he's really pleased and happy with our offering. After we do these verses, you know, page 18.
Un tad šīs te ir diezgan tāds arī dziļi jēga tajos pantos, kas ir 18. lapas pusē. Un pēc tam mēs arī paši tā kā piedalāmies. Tad mēs piedalām tos skolotājiem, pēc tam mēs arī paši piedalāmies šajās dzīvēs.
And then page 19, we offer these offerings that we set out here to Vajrasattva, the 7 types of offerings, as well as the inner offering that we're going to have here. And then we recite a praise to Vajrasattva.
Un tad mums ir 7 piedāvājumi, tad mēs tos piedāvājam Vajrasattvam un skaitam viņam slavējumu, lūgšanas.
And then this praise on page 20, that we can 19, you don't have to do this one, but maybe just since we're here today we can do it. It's another very sacred praise to Heruka and Vajrayogini, who are high Yoga Tantra deities. So we're praising them, and again, just by reciting this, we can receive some blessing from these from the teacher or the deity. And then,
Un tad nākamais slavinājums ir tāds arī ļoti dziļš un slepens. Tas ir veltīts Herukam un Vajrayogini.
Un to mēs varam nešas naudas, tad jāvēlēties, šodien mēs darīsim,
And page number 22 is the Song of the Spring Queen, which we'll also do when we do Lama Chopa. And that's another sacred song requesting the blessings of Dakas and Dakinis to try and increase our experience of understanding the emptiness and our experience of bodhicitta. So it's again another sort of sacred requesting prayer to these more subtle, sublime beings.
Un tad nākamā dziesma arī ir tāda, ko mēs veicam, kad mēs veicam savu piedāvājumu, un tā arī ir slavinājums dažādām šīm te būtnēm, gan Dakīnī, gan zemes aizstāvjiem, varoņiem, tad visi ir uzskaitīti, visi pie kuriem mēs vēršamies.
And then on page 26, we offer some to the local spirits.
Un tad 26. lapsā ir atlikušā coga piedāvāšana, kas ir tas coga daļa, ko mēs piedāvājam vietējiem gariem būtnēm.
And then we done some dedication prayer there as well at the end, concluding prayer of auspiciousness, and that's it.
Un pēc tam sako vārdiņu lūgšanas un noslēgums.
So it's not too complicated in terms of just, obviously all the realizations that we're asking for are not easy, but the layout of the practice is quite simple. It doesn't take so long. So it can be kind of easy, get familiar quite easily, I think, with that practice. That's why I thought to do it. Lama Chopa is much more, the other one's Song offering practice is much more complex, but this one's more easy, and I think that's why Lama Yeshe put that together for us, so it was more manageable for us, as beginners.
Protams, šis prakses jēga ir ļoti dziļa, bet tā struktūra ir diezgan vienkārša, un viņi var veikt diezgan īsā laikā, atšķirībā no otras, kas ir Lama Chopa, kur ir tā praksa ļoti izvērstāka, un tur nepieciešams daudz ilgāks laiks. Un šāda veida praksa mums kā iesācējiem ir daudz vienkāršāk un vieglāk.
So is there any questions?
I don't really understand why it's like when you have like Tsogakun, because I have Tsogakun to Vajrayogini, and then to Vajrasattva, why is like, so you refer to the deity according to the initiation?
Yes, it can be, or you can, I think to do the Vajrayogini one, you have to have the initiation. This one you don't.
Mm.
But Vajrayogini one you do, yeah.
It just came together, but
Yeah.
and I was thinking whether it's because you're supposed to do the talk twice a month. But
Yes.
so can you do just that offering to that particular deity? Or
Twice a month, you can do that one, yes.
Do that one. Because that's even shorter than.
Yeah, it's even shorter, yeah. It's even shorter, but yes, you can just do that one. As long as you do it twice a month, yes.
Торма нет. Which торма? Какой торма нужно?
There's not a torma in this practice, yeah. See, there's no torma, so they've taken this out of the back of the Vajrasattva book, you've got that. Because it says put a torma, but just so you clarify that, because otherwise you get mixed up. I mean, I need to mention it all, because we don't offer a torma during this practice, but you do during the retreat. So, no, there's no torma here.
Это ошибка там. Ну, неправильно.
Я посмотрела.
Ну да, не надо торма.
Actually, Lama Chopa salt, there's no torma either, you know. It's just the salt. If you, I mean, you can offer torma, but you need to go back to the Sadhana and take it out of there. But you don't have to complete the soul commitment. This is just talking about doing the soul commitment, you know. You don't have to offer torma for that.
Right, Lama Chopa nav šis tormas piedāvājums.
Usually, not all the time, but usually you offer torma again to pacify obstacle. So when you do retreat, every day you offer torma, and it helps to keep pacifying any obstacle for your retreat.
Tas, kā mēs parasti veicam tormas piedāvājumu, ir, lai nomierinātu dažādas traucēkļus, un tas, piemēram, ja mēs veicam retrītu, tad katru dienu mēs veicam tormas piedāvājumu.
Any other questions? So ready? How's it for you? It's a little bit.
It's great.
It's okay, yeah. Okay. So maybe we have a couple of minutes just to stretch your legs, because I wanted to get maybe just a little thing of alcohol just for the inner offering. That's okay. Just in some point. Or no, you can actually do black tea. Why don't you just use black tea? Just put a little thing of black tea. Yeah, because that's fine. Yeah. It's actually better. And then I'm going to use the damp grease. So a few minutes, just stand up, break. And the puja it takes about half an hour, you know, so we're not going to run over time. Should be finished. Have you done the retreat?
No.
But you took the initiation. Rukavajrasattva is Father and Mother together, so we are actually doing the Rukavajrasattva here, but it needs to be a lineage of Vajrasattva.
Salt. Here, salt it's here will be salt as well.
Soak it also.
Yeah, so the salt is like separated even because only there is salt. Vajrasattva there is this first time here. I want some practice like that when Vajrasattva is combined.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't. Yeah, it's particularly designed by Lama Yeshe for us, you know.
Vajrasattva, what's helping for? Like medicine gurus
For purification.
yeah.
You okay? Yes. Good. Getting that ready. Into this one down. Maybe I'll get a little bit more actually.
Tu negribi kaut ko uzkāpt padzerties? Tu tā var kaut ko uzklausīt. Tu gribi piepiet ūdens, vai nezinu. Mēs jau kaut kādā augstā tādā izvišķā.
How long?
explain a little bit how to do it. And if like that, like not big gaps, you know, you have to go into do one after the other, otherwise you have big gaps, then it's just not good. Unless you're doing something to get them still get good lines. So which university are you going to? Only 1 year. Or just something you like it? But sometimes I have a job around the physical work as well, and other times I'm also much more teaching, so just different things at different times. Then do retreats, so private retreats, so you're also, I mean, you're not working, but you're also, you know, when you're retreat, meditating, studying, then do it, you know, so. I think the internet will be a time when we do as a family. Then that's So again, we're going to start with three prostrations. Help to wake up a little bit as well, isn't it? Again, focusing on our spiritual teachers, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, who's over here, Chodan Rinpoche, who's going to come soon, Latvia, His Holiness is going to come soon, our spiritual founder, Lama Yeshe. So of course they are all, we try and have some feeling, however that is, recognition, awareness that in essence they are the deity that we're going to practice now, Vajrasattva, the deity of purification. And so in essence the same beings, but of course our gurus appear in human form, so we can communicate with them, so they can give us advice and guidance and teachings. But we're making this offerings to the more subtle or divine aspect of Vajrasattva, the completely purified mind of Vajrasattva, the nature of bliss and emptiness. Om Namo Manjushri Namah Sushri Namah Shri Soha. Om Namo Manjushri Namah Sushri Namah Shri Soha. Om Namo Manjushri Namah Sushri Namah Shri Soha. So also before we begin, we have to, again, because we have to bless the offerings, so those of us who have high Yoga Tantra, we should do, to make it easy, we can do a short 6-session Guru Yoga. So those of you who have that should know what that is, hopefully. Should hopefully have memorised at least the short version. Do you want to translate?
Jā, tad ko mēs pateiktu šos piedāvājums, tad tiem no mums, kuriem ir augstākās jogas tanšas iesvētības, tad tie var veikt
jārada vienkārši pašam sevi ir jārada tajā tīvības formā, tāpēc liekas.
Jā, pašam sevi.
So, I mean, of course you can also do the short sadhana, whatever practice you're doing, but I think just for easiness, because we're in a group, usually what I do is just, everybody sits for a few minutes. Those who have high Yoga Tantra does a short 6-session Guru Yoga as arising as their deity or Vajrasattva, wherever they want to arise out of that practice. And for those of us who don't, we just sit and reflect whatever understanding we have of emptiness. We try and meditate on emptiness and visualise as we start to chant that we're in a pure place, it's all in the nature of emptiness, and then Vajrasattva and the mandala and the deities appear from this blissful space of emptiness. I'm empty, everybody's empty, whatever understanding we can generate of that.
Tiem, kuriem ir šī augstākās jogas tanšas iesvētība, tie vienkārši pie sevis skaita to 6 sesiju guru jogu, un savukārt pārējie vienkārši var meditēt par tukšu un var vizualizēt, kā viss šī vieta ir tīra un domāt par dievībām.
So viss ir tukšas, ka viss ir tukšas.
So again, just clarifying our motivation. So, the purpose of our life is not only to bring happiness for ourselves, but to, bring about the happiness of other beings, their temporary happiness, and all the levels of happiness, be future rebirth, liberation from samsara to enlightenment. So we're trying to get some feeling, some sense that that's the purpose of our life.
Pārējais atsaucām atmiņā savu motivāciju un pārdomājam, ka mūsu dzīves mērķis ir ne tikai gūt laimi sev pašam, bet arī sniegt labumu visām citām jotošām būtnēm.
And remembering, that all our happiness, our temporary happiness, as well as our inner spiritual happiness, comes from and is dependent upon the existence of others.
Tad jāpadomā arī tas, ka gan mūsu laicīgā laime, gan arī ilgtermiņa laime, tā pārpasaulīgā laime ir atkarīga no citām būtnēm.
So, not just the temporary happiness of, this life, this body, our job, our food, place to live, Dharma center. So that all comes from, in reality, from, again, the existence of others, our dependence on others.
Gan mūsu ķermenis, gan ēdiens, ko mēs ēdam, gan mājas, kur mēs dzīvojam, mūsu darbs, visas tās lietas nāk no citu laipnības.
But also our spiritual happiness, all the qualities and realizations that we're going to develop on the path, come from, come in dependence on others. Practice generosity, practice morality, patience. It's not possible to practice without others.
Un tāpat tās ne tikai laicīgās lietas, bet arī garīgās realizācijas. Kā piemēram, mēs varētu praktizēt devību, līdzjūtību, pacietību, mums ir nepieciešams citas būtnes.
So in that way, other beings are very, very kind and try to feel somehow the other beings are close to our heart, important to us. And we dedicate this practice, all the practices, for our happiness and all their happiness ultimately.
Un tad tādējādi mēs saprotam, ka citas būtnes ir ļoti dārgas, un mēs turam dārgas tās savā sirdī. Un mēs valdam šo praksi visu jūtošo būtņu laimē līdz pat orgasmības sasniegšanai.
And so we just begin now with a 2-3 minutes of silence, just to, meditate in emptiness, or do our short Guru Yoga practice before we start the practice.
Tad sāksim ar pāris minūtēm klusumu, kad mēs vai nu meditējam par tukšumu, vai arī veicam šo 6 sesiju Guru Yoga. In this space before me, from the enjoyment of indivisible great bliss and emptiness, I feel the complete supporting and supported mandalas of Vajrasattva. Flags of Samanta Vajras, offerings will almost place in this sphere of great non-dualistic bliss. All beings miraculously appear as gods and goddesses, embodying thoroughly developed method and wisdom, as skillful dancers manifesting peace, expansion, power and wrath. Om Gandarui Om Be Om Svabhava Shuddha Sabadama Svabhava Shuddha. All becomes empty, and from this sphere of emptiness appears the letter A, which transforms into a very large and spacious skull cup, containing the 5 meats and 5 nectars. Melting, they all transform into a great ocean of wisdom nectar. Om Ahom Ahori, Om Ahom Ahori, Om Ahom Ahori. This pure offering is the yogi's commitment, and as the pure vision of the great bliss transcends being an object
object of ordinary senses. It is the basis of all attainments and the most supreme nectar. Therefore, O Guru, with your non-superstitious, simultaneously born great bliss, please enjoy it. O miraculous rainbow cloud, appearing in Dharmakaya's face, holy body of Vajrasattva, having purified hallucination, and dual concepts that fails to see that the Guru in essence is a deity, the Dakini and the Dharma protector, to please you, Guru. Please bless me to generate simultaneously born great bliss. O miraculous rainbow cloud, appearing in Dharmakaya's face, holy body of Vajrasattva, purified of hallucination, of the five sense consciousnesses clinging to the pleasure of desirable objects, which deprive this perfect human birth of all its meaning. Please bless me to abandon clinging to the ordinary concepts and false appearances of this life. O miraculous rainbow cloud, appearing in Dharmakaya's face, holy body of Vajrasattva, purified of hallucination, the demon dualistic concepts, unveiling obscurations of improper attention, superstition, karma, and delusion, to please you, Guru. Please bless me with pure renunciation of O miraculous rainbow cloud, appearing in Dharmakaya's face, holy body of Vajrasattva, having purified of hallucination, of holding oneself more dear than others, the door to all suffering and dual concepts, that is the chief of all evils, please bless me to generate immaculate body chitta. Om miraculous rainbow cloud appearing in Dharmakaya space, holy body of Vajrasattva, purified of hallucination, this stain of dual concept holding, merely imputed by superstition as true. Please bless me to realize Mahamudra. Om miraculous rainbow cloud appearing in Dharmakaya space, holy body of Vajrasattva, purified of hallucination, of ordinary views and concepts, the 80 superstitious mind, the violent uncontrollable wind of the dualistic mind. Please bless me with your actual empowerment. Om miraculous rainbow cloud appearing in Dharmakaya space, holy body of Vajrasattva, purified of hallucination, of experiencing the Vajra hells, resulting from the uncontrollable downpour of black actions and broken samaya, the infinite purity alone arise. Om Om Guru Vaja Sapa Saparivara Dube Pradisa Om Soha. Om Guru Vaja Sapa Saparivara Loke Pradisa Om Soha. Om Guru Vaja Sapa Saparivara Gande Pradisa Om Soha. Om Guru Vaja Sapa Saparivara Nude Pradisa Om Soha. Om Guru Vaja Sapa Saparivara merely thinking of just your name, thus to you unsurpassed Vajrasattva I make prostrations. Om Jandeva Bhuvanchula Shaksel Om Kelaje Bhumidanya Meo Om Rebuje Nise Pada Om Chevana Paziva Shive Om Todranjani Bari Oserchen Om Trada Shaden Dudangavasin Om Tagi Papi Nasa Zimbachen Om Kujen Duka Gedar Sela Du Om Joden Dema Dorje Pamola Shaksel Om Bavari Vanchu Kamsuni Mitu Om Joboji Badamji Dorji Chembo Jom Om Dorji Denshu Shengi Mitu Vanji Chen Om Tuno Dromu Sugi Samba Gembar Sim Om Dunam Drashi Gembi Shengi Chole Gel Om Unje Renje Bonje Kule Nambar Gel Om Dorje Pama Joshen Doba Maladu Om Dishman Shebatam Shedam Pavodani Nel Chorma Kadrodani Kadroma Kunadani Sobate Deva Chola Yeberuga Deveranyo Mala Nichene Choga Jindu Lonchobayini Lenye Deve Shomala Shuso Ayarali Shrimeka Drosonamki Om Dishman Shepatam Shedam Pabodani Nelchorma Adrodani gargini Chagi pe maro pe devache Nel chomaso namla chobaso La la ho Ayara liho Jime karo so nami Deshin Sheba Tam Sheda Kavodani Nel Jorma Kadrodani Kadroma Kunadani Sobade Ion Shive Namye Garsema Ragi Gompo Gyodan Kadroso Dagi Dundu Shute Jin Lola Deshin Dala Selduso La ho Ayara Vivo Jime Kadro So Namji Sewe Sila Lekunso Deshin Sheba Tam Sheda Pavodani Nel Jorma Kadrodani Kadroma Kunadani Sobate Decentar Beseni Devagyo Decenpa Begatu Dumai Sechi Drova Mishe Dechenkyan Chugi Chogi Unane Baye Alalaho Ayara Liho Jime Kadro So Namji Deshin Sheba Tam Shedan Vavodani Nel Jorma Kadrodani Kadroma Kunadani Sobate Damgi Usugi Bebe Machin Chale Yekyan Chabe Gyomako Nel Jorma Jope Medewayi Sebe Jingwan Yudu Jowaso La ho Ayara liho Jime Kadro So Deshin Sheba Tam Sheda Pavodani Nel Jorma Kadrodani Kadroma Kunadani Sobate Jansi June Namye Jansi Ju Bunwe Soki Kunatumata Senyi Druden Soki Gebayi Jujing Bayi Royi Simbaso La ho Ayara Liho Jime Kadro So Namji
So we can give out a song. Sunday you can do the Bala Madonna. Or anything you do. That we can take, when you take the step, you have to take the right one with this one. This is, it doesn't matter what way you do it, but we need to do the right. Right and left. This is left. Contained in this skull cup, an illusory appearance of indivisible bliss and emptiness, do your duty before May all be auspicious for my mind to see my mind as a Lama who understands perfectly all beings' thoughts, whose speech fulfills countless beings' wishes, and whose pure body arises from an infinite collection of merit. May all be auspicious for realising the unity of Dharmakaya and Rupakaya by discovering my own subtle and continually residing consciousness through the power of taking the three bodies as a path, the antidote to imminent death, bardo, and rebirth. May all be auspicious for entering within samsara and nirvana, to be sensitized with great bliss and a great emptiness and great bliss, through the unusual embrace of the Mother, the sphere of space beyond all puzzling divisions, and the Father, the great bliss of wisdom. Sala Gopal
Shikam te gyurchi, te vanyan ban me bayan, gone gondu pelwar shu, gari rawe korbe shikam dir, and andeva malu jungwene, genreze wandenze gyatsoye, Shakhe site bardu dengyurchi go tuksu shanshin jangon yewe tenzing yobelwe kunso do gorze chosen guvele monduru pada so dulce gondu shabten shu.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So how was that?
Great.
Okay, good. You've done it before, can you? Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So you know what you're doing. That's a manageable one, isn't it? Yes, for the centre. Good. And a few people have got it recorded, so that's nice. Is that the first time you've done it, Rita? Like that, with the chants?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you like the chants?
Usually when you do it on the ones and you don't chat, at least I
Yeah,
simply
just
text them.